Hi, this is Melanie of Pardesi Reviews, and I'm here with Kathy of Cinemondo Podcast again, and we're going to talk about the 2017 film Fida, starring Sai Pallavi and Varun Tej. So
this is part of my ongoing education that Melanie is suggesting films for me to watch.
So recently, Kathy and her partners did a reaction to the song video for Rowdy Baby from the
Right.
movie Mari 2. And I
So
think that
good.
was my first time seeing Sai Pallavi. So I have such a girl crush on her. I can't even tell you.
So cute. Oh no. Very cute.
So she, and Mari 2 is an okay film, but it's not really a showcase of her. It's more
Okay.
it's more Danusha's film,
Okay.
the male lead. So I was like, okay, I could have picked a couple of different things. Her first film was called Pramam, which means love.
Okay.
Malayalam film with Niven Pauly. She was a sensation. That film was a huge film. Then she did a film called Kali, which means anger,
Okay.
with Dulquer Salman,
Okay.
a decent film. So she had done two Malayalam films. And then this film, Fida, was her first Telugu film. So she learned this Telangana, like rural dialect, for this
Okay.
film. And she, evidently she really, I mean, my ear could not tell. Did she really have the right accent? Did she
Right.
really, I can sort of tell she's speaking a little bit differently than the male lead, but I
Yeah.
can't, right? But evidently from
Hmm.
Telugu speakers from Telangana, people, they like, she totally nailed it.
Oh,
Okay. So
that's cool.
she has one of those things with languages. So she's known for doing films in Malayalam cinema and Tamil cinema and Telugu. I can't even with
Okay.
these people that are polyglots. Okay.
No, seriously. Very confusing.
But she in my mind, it is an amazing dancer, and so this
Yep.
film really highlights that.
Yeah.
Vachende song that she did became a sensation.
So good.
And then this is, I guess, your first time with the male lead, Varun Tej, that nice tall drink of water.
Yeah. Seriously.
Okay.
Hmm.
So Varun Tej, this everybody's related to everybody. He's
Okay.
first cousins. He's first cousins to Ram Charan from RRR, and
Okay.
he's first cousins with Alu Arjun from Pushpa.
Oh shit. That's like royalty. Like
Yeah,
That's
right,
well, I was
exactly.
gonna say
Right.
Hollywood royalty is what we call them, but
He is
Indian
in that
royalty.
Hollywood royalty.
Yes.
His father,
Wow.
I think, is a famous movie producer. So
Okay.
his father was not an actor, but yeah, he
Family
comes from
business.
family business,
Okay.
definitely. Um, yeah. So
That's funny.
I mean, I just absolutely love Sai's feisty
Yeah.
personality in this
Mhm.
film. Like, she just kind of just glows on screen. I just
She
absolutely
does.
love her.
She's very yeah, I liked it because we don't I feel like a lot of female characters kinda get short shrift in a lot of films in general.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
especially when you have, like, these kinda male stars, I feel like they kinda take a back seat, but they definitely brought I even like the sister. They brought the female characters to the forefront, and they felt
Yes.
very three-dimensional. They weren't like, background or noise or just, like we always talk
Right.
about the object of desire or just
Yeah.
the catalyst for whatever's happening to the male character. You felt like she had just as much to lose or gain as he did. Like it felt like it was an equal balance of like chaos in a way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even though I felt like there were two things, I felt like she was unnecessarily harsh and he was really unnecessarily harsh when they were in their bad stage. I
Oh
would have
yeah.
been like,
Oh yeah.
when
I
they had that
rewatching
phone
it
call, I was
again.
like, "You're done, dude. I'm never speaking to you again." Like, you can't talk to anybody the way he talked to her and
Oh,
ever expect that
no
person to talk to you
words.
again. I
I
was
agree with you.
shocked by that going, "Am I supposed to root for them now? Because they're done." Like, I could not believe when
Okay.
they have the communication gap, whatever happens. And this drives me crazy too, is when there's a misunderstanding, but no one talks to each other. No one
Right.
says, "This is what I heard you say." No one says, but I heard you say this, behind my back. They just kind of go, I hate but it's like, just tell him just tell him.
Right.
He'll stop if you just tell him.
She was so like when she overhears him on the train, she misunderstands.
Yeah.
She's obviously so sensitive about the fact that okay, here are these people from America coming in. They're taking my sister away, right?
Yeah.
And very sensitive to the fact of okay, we're in this rural village. Oh, you think you're better than us, right? Like she has a chip on her shoulder for the whole thing.
And they live in America, which is another insult in a way, because you're not only taking her out of the village, taking her out of the country to America, which is like
And he is just a supreme jerk. Like he obviously has never had a real relationship before because, and as you said, it's one of those. If they would just talk, but they both have so much pride, that they can't. And when she crumples on the train because she thinks she was about to confess her love to him.
Yeah.
And then she overhears him she's confused, it's this friend. And again, it's that American, like kind of like, oh yeah, we hug and we're close and whatever in America. Like she's misconstruing kind of body language. And then she overhears him say to the woman, oh, you don't want to be in this village. Like there's nothing here, He's trying to convince this girl to come and marry, I guess, his friend. It wasn't really clear what the relationship was.
I was a little confused by that myself.
But Sai's character doesn't hear that part. She just hears he hates her village. He thinks everything in India
looks down on her.
Is backward and whatever. And there were some little things that I loved, like the fact that he made her shoe his lock screen.
That was hilarious. And then she sent him the shoe.
The picture of the shoe.
Even they were kind of like, why did she send you this? They go, obviously she's kicking away my, my proposal or whatever. But you're like, that was very strange.
The fact that he's trying to hide that he has it on his mirror too, just kind of like
so
it's
funny.
like
he prints it out.
Like I've got to get over this girl, so I've got to have the reminder that she
totally dissed me. Yeah.
Right.
And even when he directly asks her why, she just won't tell him. Because I don't like you. I don't like. I mean, she's being kind of an asshole. And I was like, just be honest. You're a strong woman. You were very opinionated. You would not have just shut him down. You would have told him what he did. And that was kind of aggravating to me because I feel like she was a person I feel like would have told him straight up what he did.
But again, it's this first love thing where they absolutely have no clue how to communicate to someone of the opposite sex or be in a relationship. And it's all the family and friends are trying to circumvent. Like his friend makes it worse by sending a really bad Photoshop of
the worst Photoshop would not be convincing at all to anyone. I'm looking at it going, really?
I know. I'm seeing this again. I'm just like, Candy's gonna have something to say about this Photoshop.
I know. I was like, she's behind him. She's not even. Yeah, it was not good. And I'm like, you can't. No, don't. And also the fact that he just let these people guide him like that, take the weird photo, not even question it. Like, what are you doing? You're moping around, just like, it's aggravating.
I mean, both of them just make it worse. But she takes this. She's like, "Who's a handsome guy? Okay, can I have a selfie with you?"
Let me talk about that guy. Way better match. Like, just marry that guy. Super hot, lives near the family, knows how to be a farmer, like this, and super good look. Way better than the other guy. Like, I feel like they should have made that guy a little more squirrely, a little less attractive, but he was a total catch. Right. I'm like, well, I'm not sure why she's so upset about this.
Okay, well, then one of the thing when he's trying to take, he touches her waist, which is really a big no.
Yeah, true.
And so she just keeps flinching away from that. Then she says, I don't have chemistry, and instead of saying to her grandmother or her aunt or whoever it was, he was too hands, he was too forward, he was too hands. I don't know. Yeah, it's just all but how could you have a rom-com without miscommunication?
That's true. That's the whole point, I guess.
There wouldn't be any plot if they just dance together and oh, you're willing to move to India? Okay.
It just went so far because in America, I was waiting for the American moment, American film, and they weren't going, they lived in America. So I thought it was fair. So they're going to the airport. There is always the running through the airport scene. I'm like, okay, here comes the part where she runs back to him. They clear it all up, but they kind of cheat you by having her kind of run back, do this half-ass hug, totally confuse him again, run away. I'm like, what is your point, girl? Now you're just playing mind games. What's the point? So he was all like, oh, what's happening? And I'm like, we didn't even get the running through the airport scene after all that shit. So that was aggravating to me. So, but I did like that they showed a Mustang. What's with Mustangs? I see those in a lot of Indian movies. Like they must really like the Mustang, or is it like Ford had a lot of cars?
It must just be iconic. Like what could be
it
more?
It is very American looking.
Right?
They showed him pull up this red Mustang. I'm like, oh boy.
Okay, and obviously he lives somewhere in Texas. I mean, I saw they show the scene where
in Austin
on the river that obviously they visit. I mean, it's funny as an American to watch when they go on this road trip to visit her friend. And you're kind of like, how many states did they just drive through?
I know. It's like, it's just a fun drive of 20 hours.
I'm like, they ain't no mountains like that in Texas, but okay.
I know. I was wondering where they really shot it. Like, did they actually shoot it in Texas? Because I wasn't quite sure.
It looked pretty. I'm sure they did. Somewhere. It could have been New Jersey for all I know. I mean,
could have been anywhere.
American suburban, whatever, right?
Yeah. And also like that's funny too because I really liked the brother and the sister. They were mature adults. They talked to each other. They were actually kind of cool together. They were very mellow, no drama. And then they have these siblings that are out of control. And they keep trying to help and they just make it worse. Like, I'll talk to my sister, but she won't talk to even her. Like, just talk to your sister. I mean, come on. And she was just so mellow and cool. Like, I was like, it was such a relief to be with the brother and sister because it's just kind of this ordinary, normal family.
For me, I had a little bit opposite reaction. I felt like the quiet siblings were a little too quiet and a little, I don't know. I mean,
I guess it was more contrast.
I just felt like the supporting actors, nobody really shown that I would be like, wow, I want to see another movie with that person, right? Like,
no, but they did seem like the mature adults they don't make movies about.
Absolutely.
It's like no one wants to see a movie with those people. That's why they're in here because you want to see movies with these other crazy people. That's funny.
Well, I will mention in the same year, Varun Tej had this other romantic comedy called Toli Prema, which that was, I think, the first one that I saw. And then I was already, like I said, had this girl crush to Sai Pallavi. And when I saw that Fida was going to be with the two of them, I'm like, no, I can't handle it. So Toli Prema means first love.
Okay.
So that one was kind of like college romance. They break up and then encounter each other again later in life at work, 96. So and had a great soundtrack. And then Sai has gone on to be, like I said, do amazing films in different industries. Her most recent film was this really interesting film that she really got to be the star. It's called Gargi, and it's like her father is accused of a crime and she teams up with this, nondescript lawyer who has no experience.
Nondescript lawyer.
Well, I mean, just like a not-a-star lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Like this schlubby guy.
Yeah. So what you can afford.
It's completely her film. So she's reached the point where, it's not just she has to be big star and, she can carry her own film is my point. So
she basically carried this film, honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, even though he was, her, I guess, would you say antagonist or whatever? Like, I feel like she was clearly like the star from beginning to end. Like when she wasn't on the screen, energy was just sucked out of the movie. Like even when he was trying, you just weren't really on his side that much. I mean, even though he was still the star and you wanted them to be together and they had their cute slow motion, romance moments, he was pretty bland ultimately. I mean, and I felt like the ending seemed like it kind of came out of nowhere a little bit. Like,
I agree. There was kind of not enough setup. I literally wasn't sure, and this is my second or third time watching, and I'm like, is this just her fantasizing that they're married, or did that really happen? Right? Like, they really kind of gave short shrift. Like, give us a big wedding number, give us a big something at the end. It was just sort of we got to wrap this up. Yeah,
I guess we're going to date here now. I don't know. Should we date now?
Yeah,
it was weird. And I felt like there was no indication he had any interest of going to live on a farm until when he kind of says for 1 second, I think about when they're driving in the car, they're sometimes I think about your farm and the green and the tractor.
Right.
That was it. That's the only
Right.
indication that he had any interest of not being city boy.
Who wants to be a neurosurgeon? Anybody that
Yeah.
you've known that once is a medical student, like,
You know,
really? You're going to give all that up? Really?
I've got this medical degree, but I think I'm going to go be a farmer now. Like, it just made no sense.
I think the point was that he was going to open a rural hospital. But even so, like,
I must have missed that part, being so like, what? Yeah, it just, it just seemed like, I believe that's how the movie could end. I thought it was a good ending that he would end up there, but I just didn't see how he ended up there. Like, it just seemed like, so you're going to chase a girl to another country.
They didn't do the work for us on that one.
They took a long time building up to the annoying part, and then they the cool part, they just didn't give us at the end.
I did also like the little brother, and I liked the scenes of Sai Pallavi and the little brother spying on
that was very funny.
The quiet couple at the beginning, when they first come to India, and it's before Varun Tej is on the scene, and they're both peeking in the window. That was
pretty cool. And even just it was just how close everyone was, and everyone knew everyone. But even like when the husband, the brother, and the sister on top of the roof kind of talking or whatever. Is that what was happening? But and then she's down there listening, like by the ladder. Like, you don't have one moment of privacy here ever. It's just not going to happen. And like how they kept knocking on the train door, go away.
Yeah, I think that was realistic. One thing also that I like was a small moment when she's studying for her test. Like, her test is right around like some big final exam is right around the wedding of her sister and his brother. And he offers to help her, and then he makes her chai in her kitchen. And
that was good.
Like, I clock now more, in 2023, what a big moment that was, because it would be very unusual for a man to make chai for a woman in India, right? And that's one of her really reassessing moments of him.
That's interesting.
This is a guy who would make this for me, and he actually knows how to do this, and it's good.
And I like how she was kind of skeptical. She was looking at him going, are you doing this right? Are you doing this right? And then she tastes it and goes, oh, he did it. What do you know?
Yeah. All right, because it's Kathy, of course, we have to talk posters. So
posters. Okay.
Yeah.
Chai tea.
This gives them both equal weight, right?
Yep.
But definitely she's in the
so happy
dress, and he's in with his little smirk.
Looking the other way, of course.
American t-shirt, kind of thing. I love the scene where he's in the shorts. And she's like, you're going to show your legs to everybody? Okay.
And then she's trying to make him dress in the other clothes. She's like messing with him. You have to get up this time. You have to wear his weird clothes. He's like, okay. Just buying it the whole time. That was hilarious.
This one.
These are all the happy moments.
I mean, I couldn't find this one vertically. There was a lot of wider, landscape posters of this, but I like this because it really shows her dancing.
That dance
and then the same with this. Like,
look, he's got his American.
They're in the rural fields, and she's dancing, and I mean, it just
that was great.
The joy of it. So.
They make it look so fun. There's no indicator of the love-hate thing here.
Right.
They're really pushing home the love-hate thing in the movie.
The first one is it's much more his little smirk, right? But it's pretty positive. It's not, antagonistic. But then the other ones are.
I wonder what the newspaper signifies. Like, he's got his hand on a newspaper. I don't know if that's
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, there's little weird things they left in. It may just be part of the scene, but sometimes they mean something. I can't quite tell what kind of newspaper it is.
Sort of like,
is he reading the New York Times while he's there?
Right, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Like, what is he reading? I get him.
I did love
like it was not like he was some business owner or something, but I don't know.
I loved her dancing in the rain too. The dancing in the rain was cool. Like when I visited India, it was right before monsoon season, and they were talking about how, like, they got to get tourists in and out, because once monsoon season hits, nobody can come or go. It's just like you're done. So I love seeing, like, the part I couldn't see while I was there. Like, you get to see a little bit of a hint of the monsoon season, how people react to the monsoon, and it seems like a beautiful time, and in certain ways, because they're getting all this water, and But
Right.
that was really beautiful seeing her in the rain. I love that.
So I don't know if you kind of know the symbolism of rain in Indian films. Have we ever talked about that?
I don't think so. Lay it on me.
So it has a sexual connotation
Okay.
because I have never been there during the monsoon, but evidently you can just feel this heaviness in the air, and everyone is waiting for the rains to begin, right? And so when it hits, like it's this big release,
Big
right?
release. Okay.
All right. So frequently, besides the fact that it's absolutely beautiful on screen to show dancing in the rain or an embrace in the rain, and the fact that a woman's sari is now going to be
Yep.
plastered to her skin.
That's right.
There's all sorts of reasons. Okay.
Yeah.
But it does, you'll frequently see it
Okay.
in this moment of, for the characters of there's been this romantic tension and
Symbolism.
suddenly they embrace or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So it has all of these connotations to it. So
Interesting.
yeah.
That's very cool. That makes sense. That's and it's rain and things are going to grow and there's
Right. I know,
all
but I
kinds of-
mean, it doesn't have that connotation in Western cinema necessarily, right? Because we don't have,
No.
I guess there's certain areas of the country that sort of have monsoons, like Arizona, but not the same.
No,
Not the
no,
same.
it's not the same. Now here it's mostly this like, oh look, it's raining. It's another rain day. Okay.
Well, yeah, like
In California, we're very excited about that. In LA, we want the rain, but we got a little bit too much.
In California, I lived for a year, and I was like, serious? Like I miss thunderstorms. I mean, I suppose in the Midwest we have. Well, you lived in Kentucky, so it's just a different feeling of literally you can feel that electricity in the air of like something's about to happen, and then boom,
Yeah,
So
we get like one thunderstorm a year, and I'm always like, God, I love these. These thunderstorms. They can be scary, but I do like them also. They're just so dramatic.
I love it. I love a thunderstorm.
So I like seeing movies with rain.
Well, then you picked the right country to watch movies.
But I mean, overall, this is the classic. Like the people, it's always like when a man and woman meet and they're both attractive and in the same age and they hate each other. Like, well, they're gonna fall in love. I mean, that was just like that's an example. So she was super snotty to him when he arrived. She was not nice to him at all. They have the big misunderstanding, which only adds to the hate. And then they eventually, because there's so much tension and expectation, they kind of like, and then of course they fall in love because the emotions are so high. And it was one of these classic movies. It just took a little long with the unpleasant love-hate part, and then not enough with the, oh, we found each other part. Just what you're waiting.
Right.
A wedding is a good point. Yeah.
I would agree with you that there's some things that are really done well and other things that are like, yeah, that part could have been better. Right?
But still,
the key thing is, I think Sai Pallavi, this is a film that really showcases how great she is and how we didn't even talk about the fact she is legendary for this very natural look with her acne scars.
That was interesting that they let her just have, like, they didn't cover it up with makeup. It made her look really young too. Like, she has like skin problems. So she looked like she was kind of this young teenager who didn't care about how she looked, which kind of added to it in a way.
Right. But like, we never see that.
No.
We never see that.
And it was almost distracting at first. And then I just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and for mom, like she actually has acne here. Like she's at least like she has the scars left, but it's still, she's known for having a much more natural look on screen, and I admire her for that. Like it's really distinctive and different, and she still glows and is so beautiful, even with the redness on her face and whatever. So
that was a cool choice. Actually, I like that. It did make her seem a little bit less concerned about how she looked, even though she was just naturally, magnetic like that. So
I did not like the slut shaming when she had the above the knee dress in America. Like, seriously, dude.
Another red flag. He had two really bad moments, like unforgivable. That's why I was finding it hard to root for them ultimately, because I feel like he has that tendency to go off and like shame her and talk about how she's, lowly and now she's being all slutty, and he was being awful. And I was like, wow, what's your problem?
You know what? She's gonna string him up.
She's gonna take control of that really fast.
She is not gonna put up with any of that crap.
That's right. It was really sad when she walked away crying, because she came down the stairs, she looked stunning, and of course he drops the other girl, and then he's like, "Your fault." It's like, get to control yourself,
dude.
Get it under control, man. Quit being so American about it. Gotta put
All
them
right,
American
well,
bad manners. All
I
right.
hope this will not be your last Sai Pallavi film because like I said, to me, she's just a
Oh, I
goddess.
definitely want to see more.
Just,
Definitely.
I really love her, and any film of hers for me is an event. Like I try to see everything that she has coming out.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
definitely want to see more. All right.
thanks, Kathy, again for
Okay.
joining me for this Telugu film. You can find me on Twitter at PardeziYT and on Instagram and the new threads at Pardesi Reviews. And Kathy, of course, you can find on her channel, Cinemondo Podcast. And she is also under Twitter, Instagram, and threads with the same moniker.
All the same
So,
stuff. We're trying everything.
links below as we see if Twitter still exists.
Oh, Elon. Okay.
All right, thanks for joining me. And we are also recording a discussion of Gully Boy that will be on Kathy's channel as well. So
Check
look
it
forward to
out.
that soon.
All right.
Bye.